Shorty wanna blow me, then bro me. She told me that I gotta keep it low key. Somebody got a cuff like the police. That's why she always acting like the homie. Shorty wanna blow me, then bro me. She told me that I gotta keep it low key. Somebody got a cuff like the police. So she come around acting like the homie. I just want to get right to it. Look. No introductions, no interruptions. When I roll into functions, just know that it's tucked in, like I wore a tux in. Say hello to Justin. Justin for making something out of nothing. Mama told me I'm a star. Them haters said I wasn't. Now I'm looking at a mugging from a V dozen shrugging. Feeling like McLovin, I'm becoming a conundrum. These dum-dums forgot where I come from. There's nothing that we run from. BK, niggas know the status. Got like 2 spots in the top 3 rappers. It's Hoffa, trapper turned smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rapper. Kenan Thompson's out there. Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
So what y'all gonna be joking about this Saturday?
We got Chris Rock, so that's a good start.
Oh,
That's a good start.
That should be a knee
We'll be checking
slapper.
in on him. Your knee slapper.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, you know, it's up to him. I mean, he's already like addressed how he feels about it in the paycheck fashion, so now he can kind of have fun with it, in my opinion. Like, he kept quiet until he dropped that Netflix special so he can get that check.
Right.
Got that check from Will. Moving on, you know what I'm saying? Time to like let it be funny or whatever. I don't know.
He got the check from Will.
I believe so.
Well,
I believe so. I don't know. I thought I heard that, but
I didn't hear that.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly,
Okay.
he got the check from Will.
we know that's like $100 million or something.
I was about to say, if he hasn't gotten it, he gonna get it because it's, you know, it's video footage. You know? So it just is what it is.
Is that like work? I don't know how it works. When someone comes on the show who's been part of something like that, is it like, we got like 10 sketches about you getting slapped? Like,
I mean, it depends on if they can also like ask them what they want to talk about. Like you asked before we started, like, is there anything off limits? And it's
right.
Like, you know, I think they would easily have that conversation with people when they come host. Like, what do you not, you know, want to touch? You know, and then we'll spread the word. Like, all right, you know what I mean? You don't want to see a bunch of slap sketches or whatever. So, because if you don't tell people, then they will think, you know, what's the most obvious things about people, you know what I mean? And that'll come, you know, into the table reads, like the obvious things. And then, you know, certain writers will dig deeper or go in different directions or whatever. But, you know, when you're thinking about what does this person remind me of, unfortunately, that's high up there for him right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is why it was, in my opinion, so egregious. It was like, yo, you're just gonna tap this man's legacy like that, you know what I'm saying, in front of the whole world. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this man's not a legend, not an icon, not, you know, a pillar of the community, you know, all these things that this guy matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just, however you're feeling about a joke in the moment, you know what I'm saying? Like, he could have easily just gone up there and like stood in front of him and told him like, yo, relax on that shit. That would have been intimidating enough, but
it wouldn't have been.
I don't get that.
It would have been climactic though.
I don't get that part because he laughed.
Like, it would have been like, yo, like everybody would have been like, yo, he just interrupted the whole show to like, you know, have a
But Will laughed at that joke though. He laughed at that.
So he saw his wife wasn't.
That's the other side of it. It's like, yo,
he was dead rolling.
He was triggered because he laughed and then he looked and then she looked. And he was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I gotta slap this man.
You don't do nothing, you know what it is.
Because like, you know, it seemed like a stressful moment, like a pinnacle of a stress kind of inducing thing because you know, the Oscar race is stressful. It's a yearly long campaign of going to parties you might not necessarily want to be at or whatever, and shaking a lot of hands, and to even get a character that's Oscar, you know, nominated is a lot. You know what I mean? Everything is a lot. It seems like his life is a lot. So like, yeah, that was just an explosion.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
But getting slapped over as a comedian, that had to.
My man, you got a duck, bro. You don't see that coming? Like, man, put your hands up. You don't see this man approaching you? You like calm him down. At least have your hands here.
Right.
Who would think that Will is going
Yo,
to
he did not think that.
He so didn't think it. He had his hands behind his back.
Still, this man is an actor. You got to remember that.
True.
This man is an actor. You don't know the real Will Smith. You don't know how long he's been acting.
He's from Philly.
He's from Philly.
Philly nigga.
I talking about Chris Rock from Brooklyn. I'm like, he should have put his hands up.
Right. That part. That part.
He didn't see it.
How? The man walked
Because
a half a mile.
Because there's a difference between Fresh Prince walking up to you and Muhammad Ali walking up to you.
Right.
Or you don't know which one is which.
What do you mean? What do you mean? This man played Muhammad Ali.
He also played a dude in 6 Degrees of Separation. He played
Yes, he did.
I would have remembered the Ali performance though.
No, nobody thought he was gonna do no shit like that.
Yeah, he probably thought he was part of the show that he wasn't in on it. He was like, this is definitely part.
As he was walking up, he was still having a moment.
Like,
Plus, he, like everybody else, he saw him laughing.
Yeah, he's like, he's gonna maybe pretend to slap me, not like slap me for real.
Right.
It was not that.
Boy, was he wrong.
It was the latter.
Right. So is there like a protocol for comedians now? Like, okay, we're gonna keep these nunchucks on us just in case.
You know, I saw Chris and Kevin at the Garden. And like Kevin was coming out with bats and shit. It was a joke, but he was like, anybody run up. Like his first minute of him like getting the microphone was that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It killed. Like it was really, really funny because Chris had just gone and talked his whole. He already talked about it. You know what I'm saying? So now we can joke about it. So that's what I'm looking forward to this week. Like maybe we can joke about it, or not. Whatever. He's funny regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
right.
Maybe he can find some levity in these political times or some shit like that because he's a smart comic like that. So
as a professional comedian, as somebody who's funny for a living, I've always considered like there are no limits when comedians get in their bag and do their thing. They can find a way to make anything funny. But now with people being this sensitive to the point where you're getting attacked by other Hollywood celebrities
and bots.
Does that put like bots is always there, but like people walking up on stage is different. Does that put like a cramp in your style and how you do your thing now?
Well, I consider myself an actor. I'm a comedic actor, but I don't do stand-up necessarily. So like my approach is not so immediately responsive, you know what I'm saying? Like I do television, so if somebody catches me outside, they're talking about something that happened, weeks and weeks, you know what I mean? So it's usually not that, I don't think they're that angry still, or whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? So I don't run up against like the fire emotional reaction in the moment like that. But you kind of there's going to be consequence. Like, yeah, you can speak your mind, but like, don't be surprised when somebody doesn't enjoy that shit and they respond to that shit, and you have to be ready for that. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't want that, find a smarter way to tell that same joke where it's not as offensive. You know what I'm saying? Or that person can see it as funny.
Right. Well,
and like, it's a tough one when they say like, anything should be up for humor, but I don't know if I agree with that.
Are there sketches you won't do?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there really are. Like, I think, certain things aren't necessarily helpful. So I try not to, like, do shit that doesn't necessarily, like, push it forward. Or if I really feel like, when I get, like, Uncle Tom comments and backlash of shit that I've already done, I personally never approached it that way and didn't never see it that way. Because if I did, I would never do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm from the South, so we know, like, our history very well there, especially the dark side of it. And I don't play with that like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's funny. And I don't think it's funny when people try to throw those accusations on me either, because they don't necessarily know me. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of looking outward in. And, some points they might have like, an inkling to think down that road. But like, if you really knew the situation, you would never say that. You would also never really say that to my face, because like, that's an angry kind of response you're gonna catch from me, because it's like, who do you think you're playing with? Like, I'm not a child, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not out here playing
see
games.
these hands.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to show them to you, but.
All right. Okay, so I wanted to.
I want to go somewhere though, right here in this conversation, because the Andrew Schultz comments that came out recently, right, about Kendrick Lamar, I just got to ask him, since we're talking about how far can comedians go, where's the line? Like, how do you feel about those comments that he made about Kendrick Lamar?
Philly, BEATZ.
I mean, y'all hearing what I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying? Take a lot for a nigga to get inspired, man. So much bullshit out the day, man. So much bubble gum. You know what I'm saying? I be having to get the urge to get in this bitch, man. You know
Sometimes you gotta let that thing ride, man. You know what I mean? Rushing this shit.
like waking up sluggish from a long night after they go to the gym. And I still get in there and get the reps.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Rolling woods in my neck to keep it eckler. And my ethic is catch a movie, kill the editor, bully the bullies, prey on the predator, smoke that premium. Niggas ain't regular, get it and whipping and flipping the accelerator. Lecture sliding through in the Tesla, handle the rock like the professor. Felt the pressure for the lesser, everything coming together. So relentless, more endeavors, hustling more than ever. Better get yours together, fucking them whores together. Catching you and your boys together. Good connection with God, put you and the Lord together. Heaven gates, nigga.